Hey guys, welcome to another video. In this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about how to train for a specific heart rate zone and why it matters. Especially when it comes to training for marathons, Ironmans, any endurance event, or simply even for fat loss and muscle gain as well. Alright guys, let's get into it. Okay guys, so when we talk about heart rate zones, there are essentially 5 zones. And there's obviously broken up into zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 naturally, but essentially there are different zones based on your maximum heart rate percentage. So the way you calculate your maximum heart rate is by 220 minus your age, and then you do a percentage off of that. The reason you train in a specific zone is to be able to increase your performance on the day of a race. And the way you do this is by training in different zones at different times. So let's get into zone 1. Zone 1 is essentially 50 to 60% of your maximum heart rate. For this video and for just to make it easy and for all intents and purposes, let's say that a person is 20 years old. So 220 minus the age is 200. 50 to 60% of the maximum heart rate is 100 into 120 beats per minute. Alright guys, so that's where you would stay if you're training in zone 1. This is a very easy zone to stay in. It's not very difficult, and you generally just want to stay in this zone for recovery, just to like flush out the toxins of your body, flush out the lactic acid, etc. And this is a great zone for doing that. It's a great zone after you do your recovery or your long runs. Alright guys, zone 2. Zone 2 is between 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. So if you're a 200-pound person, it'll be between 120 to about 140 beats per minute. This is a zone where it's a little more challenging than zone 1, but not really that much challenging. It's a zone where if you're running, you can actually speak slowly to somebody else who's running with you if you're having a partner. Essentially, you train in this zone for for fat loss, and also if you want to just give yourself a little boost, but it's not going to be as effective. You generally want to be training in this zone for like your long runs, and I guess a little bit for recovery as well. Zone 3 is basically 70 to 80%. Now this zone is a little harder. But however, you're not really pushing yourself to the max. It's a bit harder. You want to train in this zone for a little bit of fat loss, but not that much. And you also want to be training in this zone if you're doing a long run as well. It's a great zone to be in. In this zone, you can speak maybe like 1 or 2 sentences if you're running and speaking to somebody else, but you're not going to be able to form like complete paragraphs, etc. That's kind of a monitor. Again, guys, you want to be basing your heart rate training based on perceived effort also, not just on your heart rate monitor, because things like elevation, altitude, things like is the gradient of the slope and the temperature can affect. You want to take these factors into account and then train via your heart rate. If you're training for a pace of 5 minutes per kilometer, for example, and you're running up a hill, it's obviously going to be difficult to maintain that pace. However, if you're training via heart rate, and you know you have to keep a specific heart rate for a specific period of time to get to 5 minutes per kilometer, you know that when you're running up a hill, you can slow down the pace, stay at that heart rate, and then speed up the pace when you're going down it. Because again, guys, this is the benefit of heart rate training. You are far more likely to be more successful if you incorporate actual stats in your training as well. Guys and girls, when you're talking about intensity, we're talking about heart rate. That's how you measure intensity. So you measure intensity using your heart rate, then you have an accurate measure of what you're doing. When you're training for fat loss, you want to be between 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. When you're training for interval training, you want to be between 80 to 90% for certain periods, and then below for between 50 to 60% or 60 to 70%. You want to be able to incorporate and use stats in your zonal training so that you can get the best bang for your buck and you're not doing arbitrary work. Zone 4 is a bit challenging now because you're training via your lactate threshold. You want to basically increase the lactate threshold. You're doing this essentially because you want to be able to increase your VO2 max and increase your lactate threshold so that when you're doing a long run, you can do it faster next time. So you want to be between 80 to 90% of your maximum heart rate, which is like between 160 to about 180 beats per minute for a person who has a maximum heart rate of 200. So I mean, it's really essential training zone. This is where actually your Ironmans, your marathons are actually built, because you need to be able to train in this zone for some periods of time. Your interval training should be done in these kinds of sessions. Your fartlek training and your interval training runs, and also your start and sprint runs, etc. should be done in this kind of sessions, because if you train for this, you're training above your threshold. You're training above your race pace. And if you do this for over periods of time, then your race pace automatically becomes faster. For example, if you're training to run 6 minutes per kilometer, if you train at 5 minutes per kilometer for like half an hour or something, then next time you try to run at 6 minutes per kilometer, you'll be able to run at 6 minutes per kilometer for longer, like let's say 1 hour or something like that. This is a very arbitrary example, but it's important to recognize that this is the kind of thing that can happen. When you're training in zone 4, it's actually really good for when you're doing high intensity interval training. So for high intensity interval training, you want to be between zone 4 and zone 2 or zone 1. So you want to go into zone 4, stay in that zone for a bit, come back down to zone 1 or 2. You want to stay in that zone for a bit, come back, then go back up to zone 4, zone 3. That's when you actually gauge the intensity. The next one is basically when you're training for above 90% to 100%. This is extremely hard. You can only do this for like short periods of time. The reason that you do this is basically for a time trial, or like you just want to test yourself really a lot. You wouldn't really be in this heart rate for a long time. It's not like as important as the other zones as I mentioned. However, it is important to incorporate from time to time as well, some max effort training, you know. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like this content, please do like and subscribe by clicking the red notification button. I'll be releasing a new video every single week. Thank you guys so much for all the support, love, and the comments and etc. saying that you're enjoying my content. Please do subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.